So you want to learn about the Dota 2 lore, eh? But you're too stupid to understand the basics of it? It's a little bit too overwhelming? Or perhaps you're one of those who just yike and cringe at it and think it's a joke? Well, I also happen to be a smooth-brained idiot, so perhaps I can explain in a way that will make even you, a fellow double-digit IQ brainlet, capable of comprehending it. So here is the Dotaverse explained in the simplest way possible. Okay, so before there was anything, there was the primordial mind. Then, Elder Titan made an oopsie and it exploded and the universe was created. The primordial mind shattered into many fragments. Among these are the Dire and the Radiant, the most powerful ones. The siblings absolutely hated each other because of their contrasting natures and violent fighting, and got imprisoned by another fragment, Arc Warden. He put them in a sphere of all things called the Mad Moon, and for some reason flung it into space. Then the prison was like, hey Earth, what's popping? And it came into our planet's orbit. The power emitted from the Nemesis stones above made life on Earth magically influenced and created different species and cultures. But if the Mad Moon were to break and the prisoners escape, life on Earth would turn into chaos and war would be inevitable. Zet decided to guard it, even though he was too weak to do anything in case they were to escape. Thank God they stayed in their prison and life on Earth could safely evolve in a healthy way. Yeah, about that. The Mad Moon, their prison, ended up sundering or breaking in a cataclysmic event, and the Dire and Radiant fragments now landed on Earth, twisting it to each their wills. The Radiant created and enslaved, while the Dire destroyed and rebelled. While the Ancients were still in their prisons though, the priestesses, helicopter mom Prelex, and her edgy rebellious daughter Kana had made each their army to fight for each their side. Prelex on the Radiant and Kana on the Dire. Which is why in Dota 2 we fight for each our side in this never-ending battle. Dota 2 is in fact the last battle, where one ancient always destroys the other, which results in the end of the world and the timeline is reset. And that's where Artifact comes in. Artifact is in fact a card game, where different events in the Dota history are literally played out in a game to try to figure out how to stop this never-ending timeline resetting battle. One of these card games led Phantom Assassin to assassinate the King of Slom, a city in the nation Revtel, which resulted in Sorla Khan attacking Roseleaf and then Rix rebelling against the Bronze Legion and eventually taking the oath and summoning the dead. Other than the Artifact lore, there's also a bunch of other events we know from the hero background, such as Tidehunter vs Kunkka. Basically, Kunkka is a pirate who sailed north and found a gem. He took it with him, not knowing it belonged to Maelron the Ocean God. Maelron sent Tidehunter, a devout orbiter, to fetch the gem from Kunkka, but Kunkka didn't do nothing, so he escaped to shore. And that's why Tide is still hunting Kunkka to this day. Of course, there's more to this story, and that's better explained at the end of my Dota Geography episode 3 video, but that's the basics of it. Oh, and Lena and Crystal Maiden are sisters who were banished to the north and the south after their parents found out they were gay. I mean, powerful fire and ice mages who were too much to handle and a danger to society. Anti-Mage hates all white people, I mean magic users, cause the dead god's followers infiltrated and killed his peaceful home. Bristleback and Tusk hate each other, and always fight because once Tusk whooped Bristleback's ass, and I mean, everyone knows that while Australians are indeed very powerful shitposters, Finns will always be superior. You don't fuck with time, or like, time magic, because then Faceless Void will be very, very angry, cause he's from the time realm known as Khazraim. And the only thing more scary than a void time walking at you and you see the animation of Chronosphere is when you get blink used by an SF and there's nothing you can do but just cry as you know that this is the end. Up through the entire history of the Dotaverse, the most powerful mages could only hope to learn as much as 3 spells through a lifetime of hard work and memorization, but most wizards only learn 2 or even 1. There's one exception to this though, so high IQ and autism points that he could live basically forever and learn 10 spells at once as a young chap. Invoker is in fact said to be one of the 100 people left who still plays Artifact. Before the whole Roseleaf battle, or even in a different timeline entirely most likely, Legion Commander's home was attacked by Underlord. This abyssal attack is the reason why she's a xenophobe, even if she keeps bringing up statistics of crime and economics as why she hates demons. Underlord has also been catcalling Mirana and Luna and said that he's coming for that booty, a charming seduction technique that is perhaps only beat by sending a dick pic. Luna and Mirana both worship and protect Salamene, the goddess of moon and magic. The King of Elves, both as a character and kingdom that would never be mentioned again, was an incel with an unfortunate skull shape and short stature, so he did some research on various forums and found out how to summon a succubus. Okay, so maybe that's not exactly what led him to do it, but nonetheless, he did in fact summon a succubus, which happened to be Akasha, who he named his secret queen, the Queen of Pain. She would torture him to his delight because it reminded him of the Stacys bullying him at school, until the point where he just wanted to be cucked all day long and forget about his king duties. So his people rebelled and threw him out of the window, and Quap was released from his summoning binding. Furion, the Nature's Prophet, is the best, most beautiful hero in the Dotaverse, who protects the environment, and he is married to his gamer girlfriend, Anger. Omniknight worships the Omniscience, the All-Seeing One, which is basically just Christianity. Omniknight took it upon himself to liberate people who were unfortunate to be born and brainwashed into the wrong faith by killing them and sacrificing them to the one true God. After a while, he realized that this was probably not the best way to show people how great the Omniscience faith is, so he started to not believe anymore. But then when he went to seek out the god to check if it's real, it actually revealed itself to the Omniknight, and he never questioned it again. Okay, so this is nowhere near all the lore, but it's the ones I like the best. I go more in depth and mention more bigger and smaller stories in my other series, which you should check out if you're interested. I have been neglecting the Dota Geography series, but I'm now gonna go back to it and continue the series, as well as post the final episode of the Call to Arms set. When Underlords is finished in beta, I also have a pretty solid theory about what it's about lore-wise, which I will publish as soon as I've gathered all the information missing. I stopped posting for a long time, but now with Underlords in beta and already hinting at more lore, my brain has been relit with inspiration and motivation. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around. Peace!